And as I was mentioned on screen itself, zero to hero, I'm gonna make sure if you uh, haven't been doing designing from a long period of time, then also it would be an easy thing for you guys whenever you just take this particular session home, or you if you are watching this particular recording whenever it's been uploaded on the channels. So as I talked about, that the next 10 minutes would be all about layering or designing or how things happens. So can we move ahead to just let me just provide you a glimpse of what is actual designing means, what is graphic designing? Can we move ahead? So if we talk about designing in one single line, if I have to explain you, then it's nothing but creating a visually pleasing work. I mean, designing is something, अगर आपको देख के अच्छा लग रहा है, if your eyes are pleased, that means you are, as a creator, you have succeeded. So in order to make sure that your designs are pleasing, how we can do that? Can we move ahead? Balance. The very first thing is balance. If I have to provide you an example of balance, can we move to the next slide? So symmetry or asymmetry is something that creates a balance. If I have to provide you with an example of Starbucks, so this logo of Starbucks is so inclined, so parallel that we can, I mean, if we have to explain you in an academic terminology, then in that particular state, LHS is equal to RHS. And if I have to prove that, my next slide has the answer for that. Can we move ahead? So this is a part of asymmetry. I mean, as you can see over here, that definitely you have a design, but the design is not symmetric, or there is no such balance as you can see on your screen, and that makes you a feel of that it's not that visual appealing that it could have been. Can we move ahead to the next one? Again, I was talking about the alignment. So the best example would be, one of the best example I would say would be Starbucks. And as you can see on your screen, the alignment is so symmetry that how the balance has been created, that LHS tends to be equal to RHS. So that's why balance in a designing forum is pretty much important. Moving ahead, unity. If I have to provide you an example of unity, then the best example would be, can we move ahead to the next slide? Yeah, next one. So over here, you can see in front of your screen, there is no such unity that we can conclude. Everything is huffle puffled, or if there is n number of fonts that has been, or type, we can say typology has been presented in front of your screen. So in that particular prospect, you are not able to grab the essence of the actual data that the team wants to present, like the folk music festival wants to present. And that's where unity comes into the picture, which suggests that whenever you are using any typology or graphics or clip arts, make sure that a equilibrium has been created, a unification has been provided. Can we move ahead to the next one? Contrast. Again, a great example will actually help you to understand what exactly contrast is. Can we move ahead to the next one? So contrast is basically the color mapping. I mean,
I think Siddhant has lost the signal.
trying to catch one fish out of it. So guys, what I can do is, after the session end, I will definitely provide you those particular cheat sheet. Oh, am I audible to everyone properly? Oh, all right. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, that contrast is something that has a great depth to it. So I will just make sure that whenever the sessions end, I will just provide you a proper cheat sheet that which color suits on which background and everything. And that will really help you in the long run. Can we move ahead to the next slide? Can we move ahead to the next deck? All right, by that time the slides has been changing around. It's important that this particular fundamentals are at a beginner level. It has its own intermediate stage, advances, and everything. We will definitely discuss those particular masterclass whenever a new session happens. But right now, these fundamentals are also something which is new for many individuals who are starting their career. So it's important that we grasp these particular things at a great scale. And if we talk about the next layering, that is repetition. Repetition, again, let me just explain you with an example. Can we move ahead to the next one? So the repetition of formatting, designs, and color. I mean, as you can see in front of your screen, they have played with color, fonts, typology, and the backdrop so well that you are able to connect the dots like loved and trusted, hated and feared, but never controlled, I mean, just try to understand how well they have played with the designing over here. Let me provide you a better example to catch your mind again. Can we move ahead to the next slide? Again, this particular logos are something you would have seen in a long run. This is not something a fresh startup based dividend firm or organization. This is something that has played your mind for so long, and how well they have incorporated those particular playing in the logos. So what they have done a repetition of colors from Gmail to calendar to Drive to Meet. So that's how well they have played this particular game. And if I have to provide a better example in our forum itself, can we move it ahead to the next one? So Anon has the same template for the same. I mean, the red defines your parents connect, or we can say your teachers connect program. Your Paathshaala color has a dependent of that Irish blue, navy blue fondant. Anon Talks has that particular parent color schemas. So just make sure that whenever we have our deck in hand, we try that we collab with our parent and connect the dots so that you guys can with Anon. Can we move ahead to the next one? Pattern again. Pattern plays a vital role. How can we have an example by moving ahead to the next one? So again, pattern we have different decks. I mean, as you can see, this would be the one of the best examples, I would say, because it has its own, like, we know that in order to create a block-like structure, or we can say Jenga, it has a block-like structure which has a pattern in it. Whenever you add on a pattern, it creates another pillar. If whenever you remove a pattern, it breaks down. So this is something that you have to make sure whenever you are designing, that the pattern should not go huffle puffle, so that your design comes out to be as best as your user are seeking for. Moving ahead to the next set of understanding, or we can say the fundamentals while designing. Rhythm, again, one important aspects of designing, I would say. And last one, if we talk about the theoretical part, can we move ahead? So again, you can see the pattern over here. I mean, it's been a long while. I have completed my schoolings, or I would say higher secondary, but there used to be a curve like structure. I think you guys would have been you would have learned about AC graph or DC graph, how rhythmic they are. So in that particular accordance itself, a rhythmic pattern are expected whenever you are designing, so that it creates a visual appeals and people are able to recognize what you want to publish in front of your screen. Without rhythm, everything would go distorted, and the connectivity that you are expecting to be built, that would be missed.